Hello, YouTube. I am heading towards our illustrious DMV to get the motorcycle license, or endorsement. I guess I already have a license, so I guess it'd be endorsement. So yeah, there's that. I did that class. There's a class you have to take here in the state of Florida. Well, I guess you don't have to take it, but it's preferred to take it, because if you don't, you're a dumbass. To know how to ride said motorcycles. And I'm trying to remember where the heck it is. It's been a while since I've been at a DMV. So I'm searching and searching and hoping that I will find it. Anywho, so I have the money for a down payment on a motorcycle. And I'm going through probably what many of you are, I guess just about anybody would go through. I'm scruffy as hell today. Well, you're trying to figure out what motorcycle you want, what kind, all that jazz. Is this it? No, that's a jail. Same thing. So now I'm going to turn through a massage parlor, because all our DMVs are in the greatest of places here in Florida. Anywho, cut you off. So, types of bikes. You know, I dig the look of a sport bike. I really do. But I also know me. And if I don't kill someone else, I'll kill myself. Plus, I made the mistake of going through a bunch of videos in the YouTube, or the tube of you. Oh, shit. And, by the way, it's storming out there, too. Just absolutely disgusting. Anyway, so I made a bunch of watched a bunch of videos on the YouTube of motorcycle crashes, which is probably the last thing I should have done, but I did. And every one of them involved sport bikes, except for one, because some dumbass decided to take a cruiser too fast. Anywho, so yeah, so I'm thinking a nice heavy cruiser. Couple reasons for that. One, because cruisers are, heavier, they have a lower center of gravity, and I'm thinking that might help with keeping the center of gravity. Of course, it could be wrong. They're probably just as bad or just as dangerous, but I have zero experience in the whole thing. So yeah, I'm just going by what my gut feeling tells me. So, as you can probably tell, I've made 2 U-turns so far. Well, yeah, 2 U-turns, 1 turn. Trying to locate this DMV lane. I drive a Jeep, a very high lifted Jeep for rock climbing and, wheeling and all that fun stuff. You're probably bouncing around. I'm sorry about that. So yeah, so I'm going to the DMV to get my fancy endorsement, and I'm gonna pay dearly for it, I'm sure, both in time and money. Just so that I can go out and get a motorcycle and be able to drive it legally on the streets of Tampa. Yeah. So yeah, so I'm trying to find it now. But now going back to the type of bike. Okay, so there's a couple options out there. I took the MSF course. I'm gonna go down the other way, I guess. I took the MSF course. For those of you who don't know, that's a Motorcycle Safety Foundation thing. And, it taught me a little bit about how to ride, but it's all basically slow-mo riding, and, how to handle a bike going slow, and yada, yada, yada. Which is fine. I think that's important, but, there was no real world. By the way, here you are at 50 getting onto the interstate kind of training with it, and then the whole idea of counter steering, and yes, you turn this way to go that way, and you lift this hand to lift that hand, and push on this and roll on that, which is fine. But yeah, yeah, I mean, I'm assuming that, you know, if I take whatever bike I get out to a fairly large sized parking lot, preferably lined with rubber mats and, you know, and cushy stuff, that I'll figure out what they were referring to, you know. But you leave that with some feeling of a little bit of accomplishment by learning how to, you know, at least get into first gear, and actually a couple times we went into second gear, which was kind of cool. But that's really about it. Now I'm a big proponent of taking the MSF course because, one, it lowers your insurance. I think that's what I've heard. I haven't signed up for it yet. And then also it does give you a good foundation for, you know, riding in slow, you know, speeds and on a motorcycle, and how to get around and maneuver. And I've heard also, because, you know, I've heard a lot, that a large amount of motorcycle accidents is in the slow speed. So that's the Popo station. So I mean, you know, I'm glad I took it, and apparently I guess there's more classes you can take, of which I'm of course going to jump all over, because I just think I need the experience of it. But yeah, so as far as motorcycles, you know, so I've settled on a cruiser, okay, above a sport bike, above a multi-purpose, whatever, a fancy, it's like, looks like a sport bike with a funny handlebar on it. So I've settled on a cruiser. So now the question is, okay, do I get a small cruiser or do I get a large behemoth Harley Davidson cruiser? You know, I've got deals on Harley Dynaglide, which is like $1,600, which scares the hell out of me. Then also a 1,300. Yeah, maybe I'll just go to the other DMV. There's another one down the street. They may have, because I saw a spot where it looked like they'd torn down a building. I'm wondering if that was it. And then also a 1,300 Yamaha with a pretty good deal, which is so far the best down payment. The best monthly payment would be a 2000 brand new 2015 Kawasaki Vulcan S, which is the I guess their latest advent to the community. Which it looks like they borrowed from the V-Rod with the frame that goes around the tank, which is kind of cool. I kind of dig it, kind of sweet. But it also has ABS brakes, which is huge in my little noggin. As far as, you know, that's cool, you know. Maybe help with a little bit of if not stability, which obviously would be stability, but if not for stability, also would help with confidence, I think, you know. And they keep touting it as a good bike for beginners, but then that's what bothers me, is like, okay, so I'm going to buy this bike and I'm going to pay for it for a couple years, and it's going to be a beginner's bike my whole career. So, you know, they say, well, you can grow with the bike as well, and unless they're feeding that bike steroids, I don't see how a bike's going to grow. Because I'm a big guy. I'm 5'10", 200 and, we'll say 20 pounds. You know, big guy, you know. So I don't really want to look like I'm riding a moped. You know what I mean? I'm sure you guys, yes, no, okay. So, you know, the moped factor plays in. But, I mean, I've checked the reviews on it, and every review I've seen has been, it's badass, it's awesome, it's grand, it's, man, I got a fat head. I got a shave too. They love the bike. So, you know, I think I'm gonna try for that one first, see if I can get a better down payment on it. And if not, then I will probably go with the what is it? It's not a Vulcan, it's a V-Star 1300, which is huge. Well, I think it's huge. And the bikes we learned on were little 250 cruisers, which, some things about that, everybody has something that scares them about bikes, and I'm basically fighting through the whole idea of being scared by it, because I just want a bike, it does, for somebody who's my age, who's never ridden anything as far as a bike, really, there is a little bit of a scary factor in there, because it's like, I'm in a city that's one of the worst cities in America for motorcycles, and I don't plan on moving just to ride a bike, although the thought did cross my mind. So, and this is a very crowded city, so, of course it didn't help that I watched the videos on here's a bike crashing, here's another bike crashing. Don't do that. Whatever you do, don't do that. So, I don't know. I think I'm going to, like I said, I think I'm going to try for the Cruiser, the Vulcan S first, and the V-Star second, I guess. But the one thing I will take, the biggest thing I took away from MSF, and also watching some motor vloggers on the tube, is to wear your stuff, your gear. I bought a helmet and got cheap gloves, I guess. So the other part of me says I need to buy everything prior to getting on it, and then I'm going to be on a cruiser wearing everything. So and it's fine. I have a feeling that the sport bikers will be like, yeah, that's cool. Because above and beyond sport bikers, I will tell you point blank that they are the safest when it comes to making sure they have their gear on, making sure they're protected that way. They may not be safe as far as actions, but they will give you shit if you don't wear your gear, because they're big proponents of that. Whereas the cruiser community, they're a little more laid back on the whole idea of safety, I guess. They wear a helmet, maybe a jacket, maybe gloves, and blue jeans. So they're and a large majority. I know you've seen this. If you're watching this, you've looked at motorcycle videos. The majority of them are, or at least a good percentage of them, are wearing t-shirt, jeans, baseball cap, or head scarf, or a pretty bonnet, whatever the hell they're wearing. But they're not wearing gear, you know what I mean? And I see that as very bad, and I just think that's looking to be in trouble, So, anyway, that's my two thoughts on it. But yeah, if I guess what you can take away from this whole waste of time that you just spent for the last 13 minutes listening to me yap, is yeah, you may be scared about it. You may be like wanting a bike, but are scared, and yeah, we all are. Everybody who's ever bought a bike for the first time has got that little thing in their back of their mind going, this is dangerous, But I think it comes down to gaining experience the safest way you can, whether it be through MSF courses or other courses, or through going to a parking lot, or just riding on a Sunday morning before church, or someplace, something that is not on a highway doing 90 miles an hour, somewhere where you can build that confidence level up. And then, slowly progress, to the street, slowly progress to the highway, slowly progress to the interstate, and slowly progress to, enjoyment where you're not fearing for your life. I do think that a little bit of fear is good, because I believe it keeps you alive. In the military, they always say, a little bit of fear will save your ass. And it's true. You've got to be on your toes, or on the ball, or on something. when you ride a bike. I mean, and nothing hits at home like a little bit of fear. You know, a little bit of fear of, you know, what's coming around that bend, or what's that driver up there doing, or, you know, just, you know, that fear, I don't think, hopefully, will never leave completely. I think it'd just be corralled like, you know, like cattle or something. Anywho, so that's my 2 cents on the whole subject. But, you know, I mean, you know, everybody handles it differently. You know, let me know what you think. This is my first video, you know, of stuff, and it's primarily because, you know, I'm bored driving around trying to find a DMV. You know. I'll probably make another video on how long it took me and how many birthdays I went through. And yeah, but other than that, though, I'm gonna get on down the road and I'm gonna Google the. I'm on my phone, so I'm gonna Google the DMV and try to find. There's another one over this way, I think. So I'll try to find the address on it and.